Yeah. Yeah. Can you believe they told me that I would never make it? Now we smiling in their faces, smiling in their faces. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to the channel, my name is Tyler. This is Tyler Rose TV. For today's video, we got something I want y'all to see. So if y'all don't know, if y'all haven't seen, Stephen A. Smith and Serena Williams, his husband, had a little back and forth, or maybe just a forth and no back, because Stephen A. Smith looking like he had nothing to say. And from a man like Stephen A. Smith, he seems to always have a lot to say. He seems to be pretty vocal and, you know, not the type of guy that's going to shy away. So what I'm going to do is roll the clip for you guys, and you're going to get into what I got to say. Now, don't miss what I got to say, because I got a lot to say about this. Like I said, if you guys new to the channel, hit that subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified when I drop another video. Let's get into today's video.
Stephen A. Smith, I think you had some marriage advice for me. Is that right? Or...
Well, you know what? Listen, I did it. People, you know, headlines are headlines. We can get into that another time, but I was hoping you were going to be here. I'm not. Oh no, I am not qualified. Married? Right. Oh no, not me. Well, I ain't qualified, my brother. I'm not qualified. I was going to ask because you hadn't been married before, right?
I am married.
No, Stephen. Okay. Yeah, because I give advice to plenty of founders who want to build billion-dollar companies, and the reason I do that is because I build billion-dollar companies. Yeah. So I generally try to stay in my lane as advice
Then we'll talk marriage advice later. I'm going 13 years strong. We got you. Alexis, thank you so much. Athlos NYC 2-night event in New York. Incredible. Can't wait to watch. I'm looking for a Tiffany's crown. Appreciate you, Alexis.
Serena Williams, you know, she is married to billionaire Alexis Ohanian. And he came on First Take today to promote some new event that he's got going on with Athos and all of that. And, you know, people are talking about how he came at me, you know, and took a sly dig, you know, because of what I said. And, you know, when Serena Williams was on stage performing at the Super Bowl. I've never met this man. I wish I was in studio today, but I'm not. I have a speaking engagement, so I'm out of town. That's why I was not there today. It would have been nice to meet him. I don't know the man. I have nothing against him whatsoever. I don't recall saying a negative word about him. It's just that when Super Bowl Sunday took place, when Kendrick Lamar was performing, Serena Williams came on stage, you know, dancing to all of that. And according to the reports and stuff like that, she's the ex of Drake. Essentially, what I said was, why that energy for an ex? If, you know, that was my wife, I don't want to see that. And so because of that, that's what he was alluding to. You know, I'm glad that it didn't escalate or anything like that. He is her husband. He loves her dearly. They have 2 wonderful children together. And I have absolutely no issue with him whatsoever wanting to address that situation with me. Because that's her husband. And I certainly meant no disrespect towards him at all. I was just saying that men, knowing us as men, you know, if we're married and our wife is showing energy towards anybody else, even in a negative way, we're asking ourselves, if you're happy, why show that energy? You know, that's it. But that's all it was. But I wasn't going to get into it on national television. I'm a professional. Now, if it had escalated and he wanted to get into it more, we'd kept the cameras rolling. I'd have said fine. But he was sitting there saying, you wasn't married, right? So, you know, you give him marital advice. That's how he framed it. And he says, I give advice about building companies because that's what I do, essentially implying that I'm not married. So who am I to say something like that? I'm saying paraphrasing. I think that's a fair comment on his part. I don't have to agree with it. But I took no offense to it, you know, and if I had been in studio and that was something that he wanted to broach, I would have reiterated what I said, maybe in a more respectable manner than my initial reaction after Super Bowl Sunday when I was just having fun. But that's neither here nor there. The point is that I respect him. That's her husband. That's his wife. And evidently, he didn't like what I said. I respect it, and I wish him and his wonderful wife, who I think is the GOAT, greatest.
On Stephen A., bro. You get loud and all in your feelings about Braun. When Braun, he talking to a black billionaire, but when you talking to a white billionaire, you humble. And you come back on your show talking real respectful, mild manner, man. Hey, bro, listen, bro. and you dogging the black women. Like, bro, let's stay out of politics and stick to talking about sports you never played.
Now, this is definitely a G check. The reason why is because this man came on your platform and basically just told you to stay in your lane. He didn't say, hey, you know, Stephen A, X, Y, and Z. Nah, he said, I make billion-dollar companies, so I talk about billion-dollar companies because I can do it. You ain't married, so don't speak on my marriage, and that's it. And you see Stephen A. Smith's reply. Like, hey, man, what happened, Stephen? Now, I'm not saying Stephen A. Smith had to get out of line or be disrespectful to this man on national television because, you know, man, as a brother, you got to control yourself and, of course, be respectful to your guests because this is your platform. But what I would say he should have done is this. He should have said something along the lines of this. I'm not giving no marital advice. I was just stating what I wouldn't want my significant other to be doing and partaking in. And if you felt disrespected by that, that wasn't my intention. Because at the end of the day, Stephen A. Smith was not giving his marital advice. He was just speaking on his thoughts on Serena Williams because obviously he's looking at it from the lens of, well, Drake's your ex. This is a song dissing your ex that's performed by Kendrick Lamar, and you over here crip walking to it as like a cryptic message. And Stephen A. is like, say, hey, listen, that should be over with. We together. I want you going back and forth or sending shots at your ex. That kind of show me you still got a little something in the tank for the dude. I can understand that perspective. However, you see how Stephen A. Smith was afraid to speak his mind. He definitely seemed like he was timid, and maybe he was caught off guard. Maybe I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt there. They looked like they were going to the next segment. The host was kind of mentioning something if you've seen towards the end of the video. However, a man like Stephen A. Smith, I don't think he backs down if this is somebody else. And a lot of people are saying, well, if it was a person of color, a LeBron or X, Y, and Z, that he would have had time. Hey, I'm not here to dictate that. Maybe that's true. Maybe it ain't true. You got checked on your own platform, which you obviously had to approve it since you're the executive producer. You had to have some type of, signing off on this. So you allowed this man to come on your platform and say, stay in your lane, bro. That's what I think is whack to me. Now, a lot of people talk about the whole LeBron James situation. I think that's a little different. And the reason why I think that's a little different is because LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith seem to have a long history of these heated debates. So LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith, their relationship's a little different. And I don't compare this to that only because I think there's a lot of animosity between those two since LeBron's been in the NBA and since Stephen A. Smith's been covering the NBA, which obviously LeBron's going on 23 years. I can't compare that situation to Serena Williams' husband because at the end of the day, Serena Williams, her husband is not in this industry. He ain't a sports guy, and he damn sure ain't an entertainer. He's a businessman, so I'm not going to compare the two. But I will say that the way Stephen A. Smith talked about LeBron, I think it's hard for somebody to talk about LeBron the same way he's going to talk about a guy like this because he don't have any animosity towards the guy. Now, I ain't making excuses for Stephen A. because he definitely looked like a coward on this, if you ask me personally, especially a man like Stephen A. Smith, a man who speaks a lot. But I ain't going to compare the two situations as I see other people doing, other content creators doing. I will say it was weak for him not to speak up. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think down below. Did Stephen A. Smith get G-checked? Did he get checked? Did he get put in his place? I think he definitely did. How would you react? Did you think that Stephen A. Smith only acts this way when his guests are not in hip hop or not in, in the athletes that are I guess you could say people of color? Because it seems to be what the notion was going. I personally, I don't know. I could see that. I could see that, how someone could say that. But I just want to know what you guys think about that. I think the LeBron situation is different. I think it's two different types of situations. But these are my thoughts. My name is Tyler. This is Tyler Rose TV. I'm going to see you guys on the next video. Peace.